one of your students was riding dressage before, and then
She was actually playing horseball.
horseball.
So, yeah.
And then from there, had an accident and had a pretty remarkable story about how her horse was involved in her healing process. You were speaking a little bit about how the connection you knew existed, and how horses, we all believe, have magical powers. But what did you see personally between the horse going from having an able-bodied rider to one of para needs?
Yeah. So, I always, like you said, I always knew the rider and the horse had a strong connection. I didn't know Beatrice before her accident, so I can't really speak about their relationship before that. But I have to say that watching Beatrice and Dee Dee interact is magical. They give each other strength, and the connection you can feel around them. Beatrice, through her accident has a lot of trauma, and is the strongest girl I know.
Wow.
But the strength that Dee Dee provides her when she's going through a hard time is remarkable, and vice versa. Dee Dee by no means is the easiest, sweetest, calmest horse ever. I remember when I first got on her, I was like, oh wow, I can't believe this is a para horse. Yeah, it was like, she was like bucking a little bit and all this stuff, and I was like, wow. And then Beatrice gets on her, and she's just, really calm, sensitive in the ways she needs to be sensitive, calm in the ways she needs to be calm. So they have a deep soul connection, and it's inspiring, because that's really what this should be about, is the connection between you and your horse, and that strengthens your competitive goals.
Oh, absolutely. And I was talking to you. Bee did a talk at the conference a few weeks ago, and seeing the picture of her and Dee Dee being reunited in the parking lot of the hospital, just every time I think about it, it gives me chills. And
yeah, me too.
It makes me well up. So, it's very important to note that there is that really strong bond between horse and rider.
Yeah.
We think we feel it, and we haven't been through anything super significant, but then to see it on that magnified level, has that changed your perspective as a competitor today?
Yes and no. I've always had that connection with my horses, obviously not in the same way, since, I didn't experience what she experienced. But I have to say it's really ignited my passion for the sport, because although, the competitive CDI able-bodied world, it runs parallel to the para CDI world, you get different feelings in the sport. And I think for me, what was really exciting when I moved into the para world was that the connection between the horses and the riders, and the connection between the trainers and the students, and the connection between the whole team, it was amazing.
Wow.
And it brought me back down to why I started this. And you lose sight of that sometimes when you're around so many riders that they want perfection, and they want to be the top of the sport, and they lose the sense of why we do this.
Right. Absolutely.
And the para world has not lost that, and that's why I really hope that through Beatrice's and I's journey, that we can really help everybody be a part of that world, because they're in need of support, and they're in need of help to grow it a little bit, and I think that a lot of people could help them.
And I'd love to know when the next show is, because I think the support the community can provide to these para riders is invaluable, and especially witnessing the feats that they're able to overcome. So what's the show schedule look like, or what's the next show that we could go?
So we just got back from Florida, and that was a Tokyo qualifier, and that was where the whole team was there. Most of the team is on the East Coast, but what actually Scott and Elizabeth and Beatrice and I are trying to wake up the West Coast to be able to have some of the para riders compete in our West Coast competitions. So actually at the Adequan West Coast Dressage Festival, there will be some para classes.
Oh, great.
And I really hope to see a couple para riders.
Yeah.
And you know, if by any means you think that you could qualify to be a para rider, Beatrice and I will be there, and you can come talk to us, you can email me, you can text me, and I can kind of lead you in the right direction. So the next qualifier won't be until June.
Okay.
At Rancho Marietta, but we'll have a couple classes at the festivals.
Will you
that
there?
we'll go.
Will you guys be there for the next 4 weeks of that festival?
So we're gonna probably go to all of them.
Okay, great.
So yeah, the next one is in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Shayna. It
Yeah.
was great talking with you, and really appreciate your insights on the para dressage world.
Yeah, thanks for having me.